Chapter 5, The Storyteller's Secret. The next evening, the cafe was quieter. Rain slicked the streets of Paris, and the smell of roasted coffee drifted through the door. Jacques Cousteau sat at the same table, the golden coin hidden in his pocket, waiting for the old Egyptian storyteller. At last the man appeared, moving slowly, his scarf damp from the rain. He sat opposite Cousteau, ordered mint tea, and for a long moment said nothing. Then with a sigh, he began to speak. What I tell you now is older than France, older than Egypt as you know it. It is about a kingdom called the Golden Kingdom, which once stood where the desert now swallows the horizon between Egypt and Sudan. His voice lowered. This was the greatest kingdom East Africa ever knew, the Golden Kingdom. It had the best of everything, the old man said. Schools where even a shepherd's child could learn to read the stars. Hospitals where the poor were healed for free. A warrior's hall where the strongest trained to protect, not oppress. The king and queen were hearts of gold, generous, just. No taxes on bread, no chains on the weak. Every visitor, royal or beggar, could study without payment. The kingdom built free houses for its people, free medicine, free roads, and free wells. In those days, even the air smelled of honey and no man went hungry. Cousteau listened, the cafe around him fading into silence. One day, the old man continued, the royal couple conceived a child. But the queen labored, and the boy was born only to die the same hour. The king shut himself away in his chambers for weeks, grieving. His people declared a holiday of prayer. Bells rang all day and night, the streets filled with incense, hoping their king would heal. The old man's eyes darkened. Then one evening, as the king sat on his throne hollow-eyed, a woman appeared. She danced before him, beauty beyond description, veiled in silks that shimmered like moonlight. For the first time since his child's death, the king's heart stirred. He watched her every night. After a month, he married her, the child and the priests. 8 months later, the new queen bore him a son. The whole kingdom brought gifts, spices, gold, talismans, animals. Every priest in the land came to bless the boy. But among them were 3 high priests, men of the old ways. When the doors of the hall opened and they entered, a chill passed over them. The torches flickered, and they felt a force like ice pressing against their hearts. They looked upon the queen and her child and saw a black aura swirling around them. One priest collapsed, his knees buckling, and another trembled so hard he dropped his staff. Only the eldest could speak. "My king," he said, "may we speak privately?" The king, puzzled, agreed. In a small chamber, the priests bowed low and whispered, "Do you know from which kingdom your queen came?" "No," said the king. "I asked her once, but she only said, 'I marry you.' Do not ask where I am from." The eldest priest's eyes filled with dread. "She is not from any kingdom of man. She is of the jinn, and not just any jinn. She is a queen jinn, and the child she bears will destroy your kingdom." The king's face burned with anger. "How dare you insult my queen?" He raised his scepter. "If you ever accuse her again, I will kill you." The priests bowed and left, but they wrote everything in a book. They called it the Queen Jinn and Her Son. It warned, "This boy will destroy the Golden Kingdom." They hid the book in secret places, hoping someday someone would read it. The mark. The boy grew, the old man said, bright and strong, with a strange light in his eyes. But the queen vanished one night, leaving only her son sleeping, marked on his left hand with an ancient symbol. No one could read it. Some said it was a map, others a seal. After that, the Golden Kingdom began to change. Crops failed, wells ran dry. People whispered the boy was cursed. But the king would not hear of it. He kept the boy close even as his people began to leave. The old storyteller returned to the cafe the next evening, clutching a weathered manuscript bound in cracked leather. He placed it before Cousteau, ordered no drink, and began speaking as though the night itself demanded silence. "I told you of the Queen Jinn and her son," he said. "Now I tell you how the boy became more than a prince, how he became the cursed name you now hold in your hand. King Jinn, the champion prince." The boy grew swiftly, and with him grew whispers. He was not merely handsome. His beauty was unnerving, sharp as a blade. His eyes carried the depth of someone far older. His arms were strong, his stride faster than any man. Each year, the kingdoms of East Africa gathered for the Festival of Weapons. Champions from Ethiopia, Nubia, and Arabia came with spears, swords, and bows, their ages between 14 and 18. Always the prince entered, always he triumphed. No sword could cut him. No spear could strike faster. His victories became legend, but so too did the unease. Was he man or was he something else? By 16, he had no rival. By 18, he was feared. The death of the king. When the boy was 19, his father, the golden-hearted king, fell ill. For weeks the court prayed, but death was merciless. The funeral drew every noble and commoner alike. One by one, royals and peasants touched the king's body to give final respect. The prince, tears streaming, bent to kiss his father's brow, but before his lips touched, a searing force threw him back. His hand burned as though branded by fire. Gasping, he looked and saw what no other could. Two angels of blinding light stood over the dead king, guarding his soul. He cried out, "Do you not see them? Two men of light protect my father." The mourners stared, puzzled. A general laid a hand on his shoulder. "You are tired, my prince. Sit, rest your mind." But the boy knew what he had seen, and it gnawed at him. A king at 19. 6 months later, he was crowned king. He married a princess from the Eastern Kingdom. She bore him a son, but within weeks both mother and child fell ill and died. Grief broke him. But before he could recover, he married again, this time to a princess from the Southern Kingdom. She too gave him a child, and she too perished, the same sickness claiming both mother and son. The East and South Kingdoms, suspicious and vengeful, sent assassins, but none returned alive. The whisper in the night. On the 30th night after the second queen's death, the king lay restless. In his sleep, a voice coiled through his dreams, "Blood and conquer." He awoke, heart pounding. And from that night forward, he was no longer the boy of golden promise. He became something darker, the evil king. At 20, his cruelty erupted. He raised armies and marched across the lands. Cities that resisted were burned. Villages that surrendered were stripped bare. He spared no one, not women, not children. Entire tribes were enslaved. Taxes rose to crushing weight. The poor, once housed and healed, now starved in the streets. Where once people had sung his father's name, now they whispered his with fear. And still the voice haunted his dreams, calling him toward something unseen. The dream of the island. One night, a dream unlike any other came. He saw a volcanic island, black cliffs rising from a restless sea. He saw a sinkhole spiraling down into endless dark, and he heard the voice again, "Go, you will find the truth." The next dawn, he commanded his army to sail. After 2 days and nights, Devil Island rose before them. He told his soldiers to remain aboard the ships. Taking only a canoe, 20 slaves, and chests of treasure, he rowed into the sinkhole. The water glowed faintly as if lit from beneath. He swam into the cavern and found a gate of black stone carved with writhing tentacles. At its center was the mark that burned on his left hand since childhood. A voice echoed in the darkness, "Use the hand. Open the way." He pressed his palm against the gate. The symbol flared to life. The stone split, groaning, and the gate yawned open. He entered. No soldier saw what lay beyond. The return. An hour passed. The army waited nervously, eyes on the mouth of the sinkhole. Then they saw the canoe returning. But the king was alone. The slaves were gone, the treasure was gone, and the king was smiling. When they asked, he only said, "Every kingdom will bring me more." From then on, tribute poured into his palace. Gold, slaves, relics. But his eyes were never satisfied.